lots of great feedbacks from people who listened to her, even though our previous webinar was cut in the middle, but nevertheless, it was amazing. And today we are doing the second part, practical aspects of solid food vacation, but we will start with a short guided meditation, guys. So you can just mute yourself, you can relax, and we will delve into this meditation. Noah, please, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Arik.
Yeah.
You are such a bright light. You are such an angel. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much. Look forward to our cooperation in the future. We can have lots of very interesting projects done.
Many beautiful things on the horizon. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes. And here now as well.
Yes, definitely. We have to bring more light into the world to dispel the darkness.
We are absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm muting myself as well, and we will just be meditating with you, dear Noah.
Okay, fantastic. Hello, everybody, beautiful friends, and thank you for being here. So we'll start with a short little meditation. Find a comfortable position if you want to sit down or lay down, and close your eyes if that feels suitable for you in this now moment. And we'll just do a very simple meditation today of presence, of awareness. So begin by inhaling through your nose and bring your awareness, just bring your attention to your breath. Bring your awareness and your attention to the flow of air coming through your nostrils. And then slowly exhale the air out of your nose and notice the flow of air moving through your nostrils and out of your body. Feel your presence in the space. Bring your awareness to your body, perhaps in a new way, perhaps in a way that you haven't done so today. Feel the energy in your body. Whatever the sensation may be for you, feel that subtle electricity, that subtle movement of energy in your body and around your body just as much. And start to relax more into this present moment. Notice if there are any points of tension in the body, any tightness. And consciously, with your awareness, with your loving presence, start to dissolve that tension. Start to dissolve that tightness. In your face, maybe it's your neck or your jaw. Scan your body, part by part, piece by piece. And with your loving presence, with your loving awareness, bring more relaxation. Just feel that your body is melting into this present moment, merging with this present moment. Relax your shoulders, relax your chest, relax your back, relax your belly. Relax your pelvis and your hips. Feel your tailbone sinking down into the earth and connect with the space, with the earth beneath you. Continue to relax your legs. Relax your feet. Relax your face again. Your forehead, your temples. Just relax your mind. Emptying your mind completely. It's full awareness and presence in this now moment. There's nothing else. Inhale deeply through your nose. And then hold the breath at the top of the inhale. Hold it for as long as possible. Bring your awareness to the sensations in your body as you are holding the breath. I'm not going to tell you when to exhale. When you are ready in your own time, release the air slowly through your nose or your mouth, and then hold the breath at the bottom of the exhale. And hold the breath for as long as you can, the bottom of the exhale, and bring all of your focus, all of your awareness to the internal environment of your body. And keep holding the breath until the next inhale is in order. And when you're ready to inhale, inhale deeply through your nose. And see that breath filling your body with light, with golden light, with white light, maybe a different color. And this breath is filling your body with life force, with vibrant energy, with health, with vitality. Infusing every cell in your body with the divine light of existence. Visualize every cell in your body being sparked by this divine light of existence, by life itself. And become present to it. It's always here within you, within us, moving through us and around us every single moment of every single day. And the more you bring your awareness to that beautiful presence, this powerful divine presence, the more you become empowered to utilize this life force and to bring about more health and more vitality, more well-being to your life and the lives of others. And bask in this beautiful energy that lives inside of you and all around you, all around us. Just continue to breathe nice and slow, remaining with this sense of presence and awareness, with a complete empty and open mind, with a completely open and heart, being grateful for being alive, for being in right here, right now, as we gather together in this beautiful, blessed day. You can stay with your eyes closed for a little while longer. Whenever you're ready, just open your eyes. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Noah. Wow, it was amazing. It was amazing. Meanwhile, we've had quite a lot of new people who joined us. So welcome everyone. Welcome everybody. Okay, guys. So first of all, it's great to have all of you here. You're a great light and your presence is really, really valuable. So thank you so much, everyone who came. And I want to tell you that the idea behind this webinar is, first of all, to enlighten us about practical aspects of solid food vacation. But second thing is, Noah is going to lead group solid food vacation, which actually starts very soon, right now?
Yeah, we begin on Sunday. So at this point, I'm not quite sure if it will be the best idea for people to join, just because it's so close. But if
Yeah, but
somebody if somebody is feeling inclined to join, then absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. So so today we will mention it a few more times in different aspects. But if any of you guys wanna join Noah in this adventure, so when does it start again?
We begin Sunday, this Sunday, the 8th.
On Sunday, yeah. Okay, so basically it's a day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you are welcome. You are welcome, and the members of our group even have additional discount, nachon? Because, right? Because you said nachon. It's in Hebrew.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Yeah. So it's so we have another 10% off, which is great. And yeah, so if you are thinking about joining, and if you have any particular questions for Noah about everything related to this group juice fast, prolonged juice fast. So how long is it going to be? Is it 1 month or something?
We're going to do 30 days from new moon to new moon. So it's the new moon on Sunday and new moon in Leo. And we're going to go until September 6th, which is the new moon in Virgo.
Cool. Yes, guys. So you just start thinking about it. And if you want to join, and if you have any specific questions, you are welcome to ask, along with any other related question, whether you are joining or not. It's all fine. Okay, Noah, so let's start.
Yeah, excellent. So Arik, do you want us to go into the questions that have been submitted right away? Or do you want to, are there any particular questions that you want to ask me?
You know, first of all, we posted a list of points which we are supposed to cover. So maybe we'll just open it.
Okay.
And yeah, because I don't even remember all of them, but I just remember that it was a slow juicer versus fast juicer. So lots of people get really confused over this subject. So maybe we will cover it first.
Yeah, I've got it in front of me, so I can. Okay.
Yeah. Do you have all those points?
I do.
Ah,
yeah.
cool. So I don't need to look for them.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'll cover the points that we have, and then I'll go into the questions that have been submitted. And also a reminder for everyone that the last webinar that we did 2 weeks ago, even though it got cut up in the middle, I then recorded a video answering questions that people have submitted. So if you haven't watched that, I recommend going back to that and watch it. And then, of course, if there are any questions at the end or after I cover a few things, then you're more than welcome to ask those questions. So with some of the basic stuff like slow juicer versus fast juicer, no doubt at all that slow juicer is the way to go, especially if you're doing a prolonged extended solitude vacation. The fast juicer, although more convenient, it oxidizes the juice. That's number one. The quality of juice is not that great, and it's not going to keep for very long. There's a loss of nutrients with that process. And it's also not so cost effective on your side because you really don't get that much juice from a fast juicer. If you compare it to a slow juicer, which can sometimes yield double the amount of juice. The one that I use is the Nama juicer. I've heard amazing things about Kuvings. Now I know people are joining from different countries, so I'm not quite sure what is available in each country, but those are just the ones that I'm familiar with and available to me. So the Kuvings, I also know that the Green Star Elite is a great juicer as well. So those three, but again, my experience is with Nama, and that's the one that I use during my solitude vacation. And it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference because also the quality of juice, the taste, the flavor of the juice is, you can compare it to a juice from a fast juicer. And I've used fast juicers in the past in my life. The Breville, again, it's convenient, but for me, it's more important to have quality. And especially if you're going for a long time, you want a quality juicer, and it's worth the investment. Sometimes people get taken back by the price, but it's investment in your health. It's an investment in your health. Same thing with buying the best produce you can buy. You're investing in your health. And I feel it's an important, that's just a side note, a switch or a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing it as I'm spending money on this and that, you actually investing resources in your well-being. And what can be more important than that?
Right.
That's my answer for slow juicer versus fast.
No, and for example, so you said that the juicer you are using is Nama juicer?
Nama, yeah.
Does it juice everything, or there are certain types of produce that it won't juice? Well, I'm talking, for example, about the softer kinds of apple, or tomatoes, or the different things that not all the juicer juice.
Yeah, it juices everything. The one thing that I wasn't that happy about was carrots, but I also didn't really drink that much carrot juice, so it wasn't an issue for me. But if you love carrot juice, the Nama, I was a little disappointed in the way it was juicing carrots, but that's the only thing. Beets was absolutely fine. Celery is great. With pineapple, because of it's very fibrous.
Yeah.
So it still juices it really great, but you want to cut it into smaller pieces, and it's a little bit more of a process. But anything else like apples, cucumbers, greens, watermelon, even citrus, I did through the Nama, peeling, obviously peeling the skin, and strawberries. I was doing strawberries. Yeah, it was just, very happy with the Nama. Excellent quality.
Good. What about cleaning? Is it difficult to clean it, or
super easy?
Really?
Super easy. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions related to juicers? Because I know in the groups, this issue does come up every now and then. Lots of people ask what kind of juicer to buy, etc.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah. Ravitali, first of all, shalom, Ravitali from Israel.
I know, Ravitali is joining our group, our solitude vacation group. She's already joined.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't understand with the juices. What is considered a soft juicer or hard juicer? I don't understand. What does it look like? What is the difference?
Oh, you mean slow versus fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the slow juicers, those are the masticating juicers. They're also called cold pressed juicers. So they masticate the produce versus kind of like spinning it really fast. And those are the fast juicers. They just spin the produce really fast and spit it out versus the slow juicers, which masticate the produce. And that's why you get a lot more juice out of it and you get a great extraction of nutrients out of the produce.
Okay, so maybe I should look it up on the internet. I
I
don't know what's the difference. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Any more questions related to juicers, guys?
Yeah, this is Murali Krishnan here.
Hi, Murali.
Hi, Noa. Pleasure to hear you. Just one quick one. So this in the cold press juicers versus the fast juicers, I was told that if you are going to have it instantly, then you can have either of the two. But if you're going to wait, then cold press is better. Is there any view on that?
What's the question exactly?
So basically, I was told when I was evaluating this that cold press juices, which is masticating ones, they are better if you're going to keep them for a while. If you're going to have it instantly, it doesn't really matter because oxidation happens in case you keep it for a while. But if you're going to have it instantly, then it is same whether you have cold pressed juicer or you have the normal juicer.
I see what you're asking. If you're actually consuming the juice right away rather than waiting. Yes, I was making juice fresh and drinking it right away. I'm not one that likes to make juices ahead of time because I also don't know which juice I'm going to want. And I still recommend the slow juicer because it does oxidize the juice, and even if you drink it right away, my emphasis is on quality. And again, the flavor of the juice is better, and you get more juice. It yields more juice, and the nutritional concentration of the juice is much higher.
Right.
In the masticating slow juicer. So that will be my recommendation, even if you drink the juice right away, which that was the case for me. I was drinking the juices right away, but still would not use a fast juicer.
Very
Thanks,
interesting. No, and if a person has only fast juicer and they want to join your solid food vacation, should it like in 2 days, should it prevent them from joining, or they can still join?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, we do the best we can with what we have. Okay. If somebody has a fast juicer and that's all they have and that's all they can have for this now moment, then that's totally okay. Again, always striving for the best and doing the best we can with what we have. So if you have a fast juicer, that's fine. And perhaps you can look into purchasing a slow juicer and maybe you switch in the middle, or something to consider for a later time. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then Cicely is asking here in the chat, are hand press juicer okay? Now, I'm not familiar with hand press juicer. Maybe you are, but that's what she's asking.
Yeah, the only hand pressed juicer that I can think of is for citrus. I don't know any other hand pressed juicer that you can actually juice other produce other than citrus.
So they also have a juicer for greens that you operate by hand without any electricity. So maybe she meant this one. I don't know.
Right.
So if you could unmute yourself, Cicely, and clarify the question, that would be great. But yeah.
Yeah, anything that.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it's because my thing is traveling. I'm not always going to have access to take a big juicer.
Yeah.
So my thing was there are these hand juicers that actually effectively juice fruits, vegetables, everything, and they're quite effective.
Yeah.
And they just so there's nothing. It doesn't go through any process, but you just put it in this thing. You squeeze it. And you squeeze it, and then you just pour it out. It's so easy. And so that's why I
Fantastic.
thought, yeah, very, very simple, like no electricity, because there's going to be times when there's not going to be any electricity or anything like that. So you just simply pop them in and you squeeze it with your hand and you just pour it out. It's like simple.
I love it. Then yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Good. Okay.
I've been schlepping my Nama juicer and it's heavy. It's like
Right, exactly. It's not
14
practical, especially if you're
14
traveling.
kilos or something like that. And I have a
Yeah, that's not
suitcase
good.
just like dedicated just for the
Exactly.
Nama juicer. So it's definitely
Right.
not a practical thing to travel with.
No.
So yeah,
No.
if there's another
Mhm.
option and it's a hand juicer, and yeah, so absolutely.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Cool. Cool. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions? Your last chance to ask questions on juicers, because we are moving to another issue. Okay, cool. So let's move on now.
Okay, so the other point was what you'll need to have at home. So really important to have our mason jars. Again, depending on the country in which you live, in the United States, is such a common thing. It's these jars, right? It's called mason jars, but it doesn't need to be a mason jar. Just any glass containers. And this is for those of you that do require to make juice ahead of time, because I know not everybody has the privilege of just making juice and drinking it fresh, but you've got a job or kids or whatnot in which it's going to make it that much more feasible for you to do a solid food vacation for a long time. You got to make the juices ahead of time. So you want to have glass containers to store the juice, because there was a question also, so we can kind of bring that question in to this topic. How to store the juices if I do need to make a juice in the morning for the whole day, or maybe even the evening before for a day or two, which I don't recommend to make juice for more than 2 days, especially if you have a fast juicer. But if you do need to make juices ahead of time, then that's the best way to store it in the fridge. So what you do, you fill the mason jar or whatever container you have. Now you want to fill it to the top, the very, very top, so there's not much room for air. And then I like to use these plastic lids rather than the metal ones, because the metal ones do get rusty. And then you seal it really strong, and that's how you store it in the fridge. And I highly recommend getting these containers or whatever is equivalent in your country. Do not, I repeat, do not store your juices in plastic. Do not store your juices in anything metal. Glass only. Glass only. So that's really important to have. A juicer, of course. You want to have a strainer, also a very fine strainer. When I was doing my solid food vacation, now when I juice outside of a solid food vacation, I don't necessarily strain my juices. But when I was doing a solid food vacation, I did strain my juicers just to have as little fiber as possible, to have the juice very, very pure. And not to have any threads or anything. So to have a very fine strainer in which you can run your juice through. You could use a nut milk bag as well, but it was much easier for me and much better, in my humble perspective, to use a strainer. So those are two very important things. You want to have, I know it sounds really basic, but you want to have a nice cutting board that is not plastic, that is not used to cut onions or garlic and things like that, because then your watermelons and your apples are going to have that flavor. So have a nice new cutting board, a ceramic knife or a sharp knife. Have all the tools available to you that are going to make your juicing experience convenient and fun and pleasant, especially if you're going for a long time, because if it's not fun and convenient, it will be easier to give up. So those are some basic kitchen stuff that you want to have. If you have any questions about that.
I have question.
Yeah.
I brought my juicer. I just want to know whether this is considered soft, fast, or slow, or.
I think this is a fast juicer.
Okay.
Does it make a lot of noise when you juice it? Yeah, it's a fast juicer. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So okay, so I have to look for a slow juicer.
Look for a slow juicer. I'm not sure in Israel if you can get the Nama, like if they actually ship to Israel. But you can do the research. And Arik, you probably have some information about that.
We can't hear you.
Arik, you muted.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm saying that recently there are lots of stores that start selling slow juicers. Yeah, if you go, for example, to Alam chain, Reshet Alam, for the electrical appliances, they have a lot, and many other things. Just look it up on the internet. There is another company called New Horizons that sells different.
This is Salta. This is Salta.
Yeah. It's one of the cheap ones. So, but anyway, yeah, you can.
Maybe I'll speak to you later.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, guys, do you have any other questions related to the equipment to use? What Noah was talking about so far? Okay.
Yeah, I will ask a question.
Yeah,
why
sure.
why not fiber?
Well, because the idea behind a solidification, there's nothing wrong with fiber whatsoever. But the idea behind a solidification is to give the digestive system a complete break. And so the less fiber, the more break the digestive system has. I mean, even consuming juices, there's still digestive juices involved. The break that we are really looking for is through fasting. The juice fasting, or I don't like to call it a juice fasting, the solidification is a way to give the digestive system a break while still consuming energy in the form of juices so you can keep going with your life. Because for most people, when they start fasting, you really don't have the energy to just keep going about your life. So the juices is a great way to cleanse, to detox on a very, very deep level. And not only to give your digestive system a break, but with the juices, you hydrate the colon and you hydrate all this old fecal matter in order to expel it, in order to move it out of the body. And so the less fiber, the less effort the digestive system has. And that's the reason for the removal of the fiber for that particular period of time.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That was what I needed to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, guys, anything else before we move to another point? Okay, cool. So let's just go further. Let's move on.
Okay. The other question that I have here is about enemas and which enema kits to buy, when and how to apply it. So the one enema kit that I use is made out of silicone. And again, I don't recommend to get any plastic or anything like that, but get either there's those buckets, metal buckets, or the silicone enema kits, and everything is made out of medical grade silicone.
Yeah.
I think somebody needs to mute themselves.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
so
Thanks, Arik.
Yeah, sure.
So those are the enema kits that I recommend. Now, if you really want to go, okay, let me actually explain, because people ask me, what's the difference between enema and a colonic? Because you can just as much get a colonic. Enema, obviously, you can do at home. So it's just in the convenience of your own home, and you can do it whenever you want to, and just have your privacy and do it. Now, enema, doesn't go as high. So enema cleans out or goes into your sigmoid and this descending colon. You could get the water a little bit higher, but it requires practice. It requires knowing what you're doing, massaging your colon, and it does take a little bit of a while to be able to move the liquid higher than your just descending colon. When you do a colonic, or some people know it as colon hydrotherapy, you do get into higher parts of the colon, not just the descending, but the transverse and the ascending as well. And that is the benefit of a colonic. However, though, colonic is not something I recommend doing every day or very frequently. It's good to do it as part of a cleansing protocol, maybe to do it a few times during a solid food vacation. But we are looking at very high pressure water, and not something that I recommend doing too often. It's great to do, but not too often. The enemas is something that you could do every day. Not that I'm suggesting to do it every day for the rest of your life, but when you do a solid food vacation, and it's different from person to person, but in general, even though it's a little challenging to do general when we talk about these things, but in general, you can do an enema every single day and then move to every other day and then move to maybe twice a week and then move to once a week. But during a solid food vacation, one of the most important things is that you move your bowels every single day. And I believe I did touch on this last week. Right. This is one of the #1 key factors in a solid food vacation. And so if you don't have regular bowel movements, just without an enema, you want to do an enema. And to make sure that you evacuate, that you eliminate every single day. And the enema that I recommend, that I really enjoy doing, is either lemon water, and the lemon is a great addition to your water. It's astringent and it really does clean your, just the descending colon if you do an enema, but it has this pulling effect. And the lemon has that pulling effect of pulling out mucus. And that's what we are looking for. And I moved so much mucus during the solid food vacation using lemon water enemas. The lemons are so cleaning. Think about even cleaning your bathtub. If you took lemon and you scrub it with lemon, it removes the filth. It removes whatever is stuck to the tile. And it does the same thing in your colon. Whatever is stuck to the bowel walls, the lemon has that scrubbing effect, that cleaning effect. So lemon water is excellent. But again, it does take a little bit of time to build your way up to the amount of lemon. So you start really little, and then you can increase the amount of lemon. You don't need to go crazy. You don't need to put like 6 lemons, even though some people do that. I squeeze about half a lemon to a lemon within a liter and a half or a quart and a half of water, maybe 2 quarts. And then the other enema that I highly recommend is the Heal All Tea, and that is Dr. Morse's blend, the Heal All Tea. And that's very astringent as well, and very cleansing. And especially if you do a retention enema, meaning you hold the enema for anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes if you can, you hold that, and the herbs in that tea is not only cleansing, but very nourishing for the colon. And so the Heal All Tea has that healing effect for the colon. And so those 2 that I recommend. I don't really do just water. I do either the lemon or the Heal All Tea.
No, and how exactly do you do the tea enema? Like, do you brew the tea as you would make it for drinking it, and then you wait until it cools down, and that's
exactly. You make the tea as if you're going to drink it, but obviously you make the equivalent of a quart and a half, because the instructions on the tea will give you instructions for a cup of tea. So it doesn't need to be strong. You can still put the equivalent of a cup of tea in terms of how much herbs, how much tea, and then just the rest is water, because it's a very strong concentrated tea.
Yeah.
So you don't need to put like a lot. It's enough to make a cup of tea and then just add water. And then, yeah, you let it sit until it's like body temperature, a little bit warmer than body temperature. And then you administrate the enema. And I do have a video of how to, with the heal tea, of how to, like the whole process, the whole procedure, if you're not familiar with enemas, and I can post it in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, sure. Okay, guys, so our subject now is the use of enemas. Do you have any questions about it? Using enemas during solid food vacation. Okay, no, and tell me, and when a person is doing his or her enema, like, is it recommended to do particular movements or particular exercises while holding the water inside?
Yes, excellent question. So, well, I have one method. It's in the protocol that I've created. I have one method of a colon cleansing routine in which you actually, and you don't need to do that every single time, but you can. What you do, you actually stand on your hands and knees in tiger position, not on your back, and you do a quart and a half, and you let the water in one shot if you can. If it's too much, then you always have the clipper in your hand, and you clip it, and you stop the water flow. You let it move, and then you start again. But you're in a tiger position, and then you let the water go in. And then once the water is in, you shake your abdominals. So you can do it with your hands, just to move the water in your colon. If you can, standing up and jumping a little bit, and just have movement in your abdominals to flush and to move the water within the bowel walls. And you do that for a couple of minutes, and then you lay on your back for as long as possible. Again, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. You lay on your back, and then you massage your colon. So the ascending colon on the right side goes up, and you massage it going up, and then you massage the transverse colon, which goes horizontally, and then you go to the descending colon, which goes descending on the left, and you massage moving down, and then on the lower part of the colon, and you massage. Now, if you can do a shoulder stand and get your legs up, that will also move the water of the enema a little bit higher than just the sigmoid and the descending. So you could do that, but again, that's a little bit more advanced. But definitely massaging the colon. You can turn and lay on your right side, which also is going to move the water a little bit towards the liver. And then you can switch over to the left side. And those are the movements that are beneficial when you have the water inside. And then when you're ready to evacuate, you'll feel it, and you just go.
Sure. So what would be the recommended amount of water or the liquid again?
A quarter and a half to 2 quarts. Not a quarter, a quart and a half to 2 quarts.
Which is about, so 1 quart is about 1 liter, yeah?
Pretty much, you can say that it's equivalent. Yeah,
okay.
there's a bit of a difference, but yeah, liter and a half to 2 liters. But again, if you're just beginning, it might be a lot to hold. So you start with 1. And you start slow. So you let the water in, and if you start to feel a lot of pressure, don't just tighten yourself and muscle through it. It will cause more harm. Just stop the flow of water, and then massage your colon. And when you feel that you're ready to let more water in, you let more water in. But if you need to evacuate, you evacuate. And then you let more water in, and you might need to do that several times. And then you might need to do another enema following that, and you do another quart. So it just depends.
Okay. Okay, good. Let's see what we got here in the chat. So, a moment. Okay, cool. So Lola is saying to administer, you have to lay down on your right side and bend your legs, right?
That's another way to do it. Yes.
Yeah, and then she says, if instructions will be shared in the group, then I will see it then. Okay, yeah. So it's just the other way to do that.
Yeah, there are several ways. The one that I just described with standing on your hands and knees in tiger position, that's just one method, and then you lay on your back. But absolutely, you can lay on your right side the whole time and let the water in. So you just find what works for you. But the tiger position that I just described, it's a colon cleansing procedure that I highly recommend doing it in that way, and the shaking and the jumping, and then laying on your back, and then laying on your right side. So it's a bit of a process. It's not like a like a quick thing. Schedule about 30 to 40 minutes in the bathroom for that whole thing. Give yourself 45 minutes in which you just dedicate to that.
Okay, very interesting. And is it mandatory to do the enema, or people just do it in case they do not evacuate naturally?
I recommend enemas even if you do evacuate. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's different.
Okay. Okay, guys, any more questions related to what we have just discussed?
Yeah, just one question, Noah. Murli here again.
Yes, Murli.
So what I heard from you is interesting. So in my case, when I tried doing it, the evacuation was very fast. So there's no question of holding also. So what I hear from you is that if it happens fast, you can actually follow it up immediately and hold the water. Is that what you're saying, or?
Yeah, I had the same thing, and sometimes I still, when I do enemas, sometimes I can hold it longer, and sometimes I need to go right away. So what I recommend, Morley, is if you evacuate right away, so let's say you do a quart and a half or a liter and a half, and you evacuate right away, I recommend that do another enema right after and see if you can hold it longer. Because sometimes what happens is that the first enema is kind of clearing the way, and then when you do the second enema back to back, then you are actually able to hold it longer.
Right, because frankly, from a cleansing perspective, like you said, do a little bit of jumping, move around. So I think that's what will actually move the water inside, and possibly more. So
yeah, exactly. Because it's one thing to insert the enema, insert the water, and then evacuate. You basically just cleaning that sigmoid colon, that last part of the colon. You let things out, which is, it's okay, but the purpose of an enema is actually cleansing the colon and get the water as high as you can and really have that cleansing, cleaning, scrubbing effect.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay, guys, anyone else? If not, we will move to another subject. Okay, cool. Let's move on.
Okay, great. So other essential lifestyle changes to support the process. And that's a really, really important key, because when you do a solitary vacation and you dedicate yourself to that, and let's say you do choose to embark on 90 days, even if it's 30, anywhere from 30 and up, it's a dedication. It's a commitment, and understand that there are many pieces to our well-being and many pieces to the detoxification and the regeneration process. And just doing the juices alone is not that it's not enough, but it's an incomplete picture. And actually, if you only do juices, but not other lifestyle or not implementing other lifestyle modifications, it can actually cause some harm. Because the thing is like we got to reduce the stress levels in life, and we got to support the process with other elements. So I basically, when I embarked on 90 days, it was kind of like a retreat, a wellness retreat that I put myself on. And self-care for me is always at the top of the list. No matter if I'm on a solid food vacation or not, it's something that is a must to care for this temple, because everything lives within it, and your life is just going to be much better if you care for your temple. Not from a vanity perspective, not because you want to look pretty, and not that there's anything wrong with that. It's because when you are caring for yourself, when you are caring for your temple, everything flows in your life that much better, and the world is a better place because of it. So there's nothing selfish about caring for yourself and putting yourself on the top of the list. And this is a very important piece for parents in particular, single moms in particular, where the kids are always first and everybody else is always first. But there's even a saying that says, when mama is happy, everyone is happy. And it's very true, because everybody else is going to be affected by your level of energy and vibration. We use that word a lot, right? And there's nothing mystical woo-woo about it. We are electrical being, and we vibrate just like everything else vibrates. And you can feel that vibration. So your kids are actually going to be that much more happy and that much more calm and peaceful and relaxed and joyful when mama and papa are in that state of vibration, because kids can feel you. Kids are very, very sensitive. They can feel your level of vibration. And if you are all stressed out and depleted, they feel it as well, and it affects them. So I always share with my clients, with my friends, is that what's good for you is good for everybody else. And if it feels good to you to take care of yourself to whatever degree that you are able to in this now moment, then please do so. And so when you embark on a solid food vacation, it's not just the juices, it's the enemas, it's getting body work on a regular basis. Body work, I mean massages, moving your energy, allowing other practitioners to help you to break tension in your body and in your energy field. It's things like doing yoga and meditation. Those are not like luxurious stuff. Those are necessities. Think about if you didn't brush your teeth for 2 months. It's no different than doing yoga or whatever practices that really support your body and your well-being. It's a daily thing. It's a daily thing because it's part of taking care of yourself. It's part of taking care of your temple. And especially when you are doing a solid food vacation that requires a lot of energy from the body, because you're detoxing, you're cleansing, you're moving old stuff out. And if you don't support the process with other practices, those can stay blocked and stuck in the body, in the cellular memory. So when we do practices like meditation, like yoga, qigong, whatever the practice may be, I'm not going to tell you which practice, because you are going to resonate with a particular practice and you just follow that intuition. So those practices help to move those stuck energies, to move those energies out of the cellular memory. And it's an absolute must every single day. And then, of course, when you're on a solid food vacation. The other practices that I highly recommend, and again, it's not even to see it as a luxury or as a practice because it's a nice thing to do. No, it's a necessity, just like bathing and brushing your teeth and going to the bathroom, is skin brushing, dry brushing, to open up the skin and to move the lymphatic system. Movement every single day, beyond just the yoga and the meditation, is to go for walks and to move your body, because moving your body moves your lymphatic system, and it encourages better circulation and better oxygen levels in your blood, which is an absolute must. Breathing, breath work, or just sitting there, just like we did in a meditation, breathing in and out and bring awareness to your breath. Very simple things, and it doesn't need to be very elaborated or complicated, but all those things to support your process are an absolute must. Another thing is sweating. Most people's skin is very clogged up, and if your kidneys are also not filtering, and especially when you're doing a solid food vacation and your body is wanting to move all that waste, but the elimination organs are clogged up, then you can experience some issues. And a lot of people do. They do a solid food vacation and then they start getting edema and they start getting all kind of issues and rashes on the skin. And that's the process of detoxification. And you've got to open up the elimination channels, especially if your kidneys are still not filtering properly. So you got to open up your skin, and you do that with dry brushing, you do it with sweating. Those are the two main things that you can do that are very simple and you can do every day. Now with the sweating, what did I do? I actually got a portable, where I was living at the time when I was doing a solitude vacation, it was a very dry place. It was Baja, Mexico, very, very dry. So I wasn't getting much sweating. Even when I was moving and exercising, I was getting a little bit of sweat. So what I did, I got a steam room, and you can get a portable steam room that it's not even that big. It fits one person, and you can have that at home. And it's very affordable. You can get it on Amazon. And I did that pretty much almost every single day. And I also put essential oils in the water for to breathe, like eucalyptus and lemon and rosemary, that you can do that, or different herbs. And I did the steam room again almost every single day for those 90 days. I would skin brush. I had my routine. You know, it's like you kind of got to put yourself in this little boot camp, a pleasant boot camp. It's a self-care boot camp. And I had my little routine. I had my little flow going on every day. And that was my priority. So I would skin brush and then do the steam room. And in the evening, I would do castor oil packs on my abdominals. So that's another highly recommended, is castor oil packs, in particular in your abdominal area. So I would massage my abdomen and then put the castor oil pack, and I would meditate. That would be my evening meditation. I would just lay there for anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half and visualize, do a meditation, visualize my colon being clean and my body being clean with a castor oil pack. And I would use essential oils on my abdominal as well, frankincense in particular, or thyme. Those are really great to move the lymphatic fluid. So I would rub that on my tummy with the warm pack, the castor oil, and I would do that almost every evening. So those are some of the tools that I used and that I recommend to incorporate into your solitude vacation, and to start giving you more time to relax, to connect more to your parasympathetic nervous system, and move away from the fight or flight, because relaxation is one of the most important key components in healing and regeneration.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so in the chat, Albina is saying, thank you for all that you are doing, Noa.
Albina, yay!
You're a beautiful soul.
Thank you, my love. Takes one to know one.
Yeah, and Albina is doing such a great job. She's helping us to connect with amazing beings from Russia, and she's translating and to connect with people who live without food, without sleep, without water, different people who just who are doing amazing things. And thanks to Albina, we had lots of great webinars. So yes. Albina, thank you very much. Okay, and then Raju is saying, are the rubber enema bags any good, or is it better to get the silicone or metal bucket?
Better the silicone or the metal, yeah. The rubber does leach, I personally, and especially when you put hot liquid in it, you don't want that in your body. Yeah,
that's what Lola is saying, metal bucket with medical grade tube.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, I have a question, because you have just described lots of routines, lots of lifestyle changes. Now, what about the person who wants to join your solid food vacation, even now, let's say, but they lead a very, very busy lifestyle, taking care of a family, working as a manager, let's say, with busy, stressful life. So what would you recommend? They cannot just switch it into this kind of relaxed and shanty lifestyle. So would it prevent them from joining you, or would you recommend them to join anyway?
Yes, excellent question. So again, we always do the best we can with what we have. So also we start little by little. This is something that I've been dedicated to for so many years. You know, it's just the same thing with fasting and the same thing with autonomy lifestyle. You might not be able to move from eating 3 meals a day to a autonomous lifestyle, right? It's some people may be able to, and some people may be able to go from stressful lives, 9 to 5, family, blah, 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 to immediately change everything overnight. So it really depends on the person. But for the majority of people, nice and steady, one step at a time is the key. And so I always recommend start with one thing that you can implement. Just one thing. We live in a society in which we perceive that more is better. And if it's not more, then nothing, I'm not just going to do anything at all. No. So if you, let's say, striving to live without food and water, start by fasting once a week. But if you've never done that before, then you got to start training your brain, training your mind, training your body, which is all the same thing, the mind and the body. The mind lives in the body lives in the mind. So you got to train your system by starting. Just like you go to the gym, you've never been to the gym, you've never practiced lifting weights. You're not just going to go to the gym and start lifting 200 pounds. You're going to start with a 5-pounder and be okay with that. And not, the ego is so gung-ho on, I got to do more. No, implement one thing that is doable. That's my mantra. Like, do whatever is doable, because if you commit to something that is not doable, then you're going to fall off, and then you're going to feel bad about yourself. And it's a vicious cycle. So perhaps for you, you're not going to be able to commit to drinking the juices fresh right away, to doing the steam room every morning, to doing the castor oil pack every evening, to do an hour yoga practice midday. You might hear this and get overwhelmed already. So please don't. Then you look at your lifestyle, you look at whatever is in front of you, and choose what is one thing that I can implement that is going to move me closer to where I actually would like to be. Because if your goal is to heal and regenerate also, then you want to start moving away from stressful lifestyle that doesn't going to benefit your well-being. So it might not be an overnight thing, but you can have that as a vision. I want to have less of a stressful life. And you are a powerful creator. You can create whatever life you want. You are not a victim to any circumstances. So you start little by little, and that little by little is going to add up. It's like little deposits into your bank account. So if you want to see more in your bank account, right now, maybe you have $100 and you want to see 100,000. You're not going to see 100,000 the following day. But if you keep putting the deposits little by little, before you know it, you have $100,000. Right. So life works like that. And God, the universe, meets you halfway. So once you commit yourself to one change and you choose what it is, maybe it's 30 minutes of yoga practice or whatever practice that you like, that now you are going to wake up. So that's another thing, that when you commit to something, when you have a priority, then you also create the space in your life. So for you, that might be you wake up half an hour early, and then you fit in meditation. You fit in whatever practice that helps you get into a better state in your body and in your mind. 30 minutes. We're talking about 30 minutes out of your life, 20 minutes out of your life. For some people, it might be 5 minutes that they just sit in stillness and breathe. That's it. And that 5 minutes is going to be increased to 20 minutes. And then before you know it, there's much more, and it just happens very automatically, organically, with ease and grace. So yes, to answer your question, Arik, somebody that has a full life, can join a solid food vacation. And as I said, just do whatever they can do within their lives, life circumstances.
Cool. Cool. Okay, guys, do you have any questions so far related to lifestyle changes, related to whatever Noah was talking about?
Noah, sorry, you mentioned about this castor pack. You referred to castor oil, right?
Yes, castor oil pack.
Castor oil pack. So just apply castor oil in the abdomen area. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Okay, no, so let's move on. You know, one of the points we announced is organic versus non-organic produce. It's a hot subject and it comes up quite often in the group. People have different opinions about that. So what's your stand on that?
It's the same, Arik. You do the best you can with what you have. Always choose the best if it's available. And organic, yes, you know, for me, it's fresh, local, organic. I don't shop at supermarkets. You know, I go directly to the farm if it's a farmer's market. But yes, I'm in Costa Rica. You know, there's fruits everywhere all the time. But
Right.
wherever you are, if there's a farmer's market, choose farmer's market over supermarket. Again, make the effort to find the best you can, because it's choosing your well-being. So don't compromise. It might require a little bit more effort on your side based on where you live, but it's worth it. Like, why compromising? Why compromising those things? And I see a lot of people compromising, and there's always options. There are always options. It's just a matter of research. It's just a matter of connecting with other people. You might have online sources to get better produce. I've connected some of my clients, some of the people that I work with, that I've worked with online sources to get organic, great produce. And so, yeah, you might invest a little bit more money or invest a little bit more time, invest a little bit more energy, but we're talking about your health and your well-being. And it's putting a signal to the universe. It's declaring, it's saying, I love myself enough to choose the best for myself. So always do your research. What is the best? Before you go to the supermarket and buy dead produce, is there a better option? Put that out there. And guess what? Asking it is given. And if not, then you, again, do the best you can. Do the best you can with what you have. You buy the produce at the supermarket, you bring it home, you pray over it, you put it outside in the sunshine, maybe surround with some crystals, you know, whatever woo-woo you want to do around your produce, and infuse it with life and with vibrancy.
Wow.
Okay, but
That's
always find and get the most high vibrational produce that you can get.
Cool. Okay, guys, any questions regarding this point? No. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, I also want to say, you know, when it comes to the produce, it really is about the vibration. It might not be organic, you know, but you go to the farmer's market, you go to the store and you see something and it just has I know for me, that's how I choose my produce. It has a certain vibration that I feel drawn to, that I just feel the aliveness. And I can tell you, when my solid food vacation, I was getting the most incredible melons. Not watermelons, but melons, honeydews, cantaloupes. And I could feel the difference, because there was one farmer that I would get melons from, and hands down the best melons I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
I could feel the electricity, and they were picked, you know, a day or two before juicing them. I could feel the electricity and the life force in my body drinking them, versus a cantaloupe that I bought that was in the store. And I was like, oh, wow. So that's another thing, is that the more you live this lifestyle, you become sensitive, and you really become sensitive to the vibration of things. So it's experiment on yourself and see for yourself the difference.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on.
Okay, so the other point that we have here is dealing with coffee addiction and other food substances dependencies. I added that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, the coffee, that's a big topic. I know a lot of people that have that, I don't want to say addiction, but dependency. And if you embark on a solitary vacation, my recommendation would be to give yourself a week or two before you start the solitary vacation and wean yourself off coffee. It's a must. Like, there's just no way around it. It's a drug like any other drug. Not going to sugarcoat that. It's no difference than being addicted to cocaine. And it's causing a lot of harm in the body on many different levels: digestive system, your adrenals, kidneys. And so if it's really, really difficult, then you can move into green tea just to have at least some of the caffeine. There's coffee substances, powders out there, all of good quality, herbal. There's one in particular that I recommend. Those are friends of mine on the big island of Hawaii, and they make an incredible coffee substitute. And I've given that recommendation to many clients that told me, this is just, thank you so much. It really helped them to wean off coffee without much stress. And it's herbal. It's all based on herbs and high quality, organic, beautiful product. So
Amazing.
that's, mm-hmm.
Do you know what kind of herbs they are using? Is it chicory or is it
Yeah,
some other?
there's chicory, there's maca, chicory and maca. They have adaptogenic herbs to support the adrenals. I think they have ashwagandha. I can share the link in the group. And I don't recommend many products because I'm not into products. But some of those products that I do utilize for my clients, just because I know some people need it. It's a transitional period. And so I always search for the highest, and it's usually people that I know also, and friends that I know I can put my name behind it, the quality of products. Yeah. So, the coffee addiction, it really goes away quite quickly. So you're going to have some uncomfortable days, and that's it. And when I say some uncomfortable days, 3 to 4 days, and then it's gone. So it's kind of like, put your big girl and big boy shoes on and say, I'm going to do it, and overcome that dependency with a little bit of discomfort, and then you move on. You're on the other side of the fence after that.
That sounds really cool. Okay, guys, do you have any questions at this point? Okay. Let's move on.
And I also want to say, with the coffee and any other food substances dependencies, and the food substances is mainly sugar and salt, spices and stuff like that, but the sugar and the salt, and when I say sugar, I mean processed sugar. Those are the main things that people are addicted to, salt in particular. So with those dependencies, we want to look at the mental component as well, and knowing that you are that much more powerful than any substance. And so I'm a big proponent of already seeing the reality, already feeling the reality in which you envision for yourself. So within your own mental dialogue, instead of telling yourself or saying, I'm addicted to coffee, or I'm addicted to salt, or I'm dependent on this and that, already see yourself free of that. And day in and day out, again, just like brushing your teeth, you put yourself in that space of seeing yourself already free of the coffee, free of the salt, free of the sugar. See yourself as that. Who is that person that is not needing coffee, that is not needing sugar, that is not needing salt? Who is that? How do you feel? How do you look? How does it feel for you to not be dependent on anything? And visualize yourself as that persona, as that person already, and that is in regards to everything, not just the food dependencies in the coffee.
Okay.
So that's always an important component as well, is doing those visualizations and really seeing yourself as in that reality already. And the other food substances dependencies, so this is on a physical level, it's a little bit more of a complex or multi-layered topic, because with salt, for example, we're looking at adrenal weakness. That's one of the main reasons on a physical level, not emotionally and mentally, but on a physical level, why people crave salt. And most people are looking at adrenal weakness to various degrees. And so if your salt craving is really, really strong, you're going to crave salt. And it's a matter of a process of detoxing and regenerating your body until your adrenals are strong enough and you're going to stop craving salt. Now, in terms of salt, it's what your body is actually wanting or asking for on a physiological level is sodium and not salt. Salt is an inorganic component, not something that we were designed to consume. Salt, table salt, even if it's Himalayan or good quality salt, we were not designed to consume salt in that form. The body is wanting sodium, which is present in fruits and vegetables, and some fruits and vegetables are higher in sodium than others, which can help in that craving, even that salty taste. So things like celery and tomatoes are very high in sodium. So is cantaloupe, not any other melon, but cantaloupe. If you've ever, if you can mute.
Yeah, I'm muting.
Okay. If you pay attention, or you can start paying attention from now on, eating cantaloupe, and I'm talking organic, good quality cantaloupe, when you get to the skin part, like the flesh part that is really close to the skin, because I love that part in the cantaloupe, the really close to the skin, it's salty. It has a little bit of a saltiness to it. Why is that? Because the cantaloupe is higher in sodium than, let's say, watermelon, which is a lot higher in potassium. So things like, those are the main three, really: celery, tomatoes, cantaloupes, high in sodium. And so on a solid food vacation, you might want to drink more celery juice or make more tomato juice, or the combination of the two. Greens in general have a little bit more sodium, but there's some greens that I don't recommend, like kale and those really hard greens. If I would juice the skin, Lola is asking, with the cantaloupe, no, I wouldn't juice the skin, but I would cut, if you're juicing the cantaloupe, I would cut I would cut the cantaloupe as close as possible to the skin. But when I eat the cantaloupe, oh my God, I eat all the way, almost eating the skin. So that's the soul craving. So it's a process of strengthening your adrenals, getting the potassium, sodium levels in your body balanced, and then you stop craving salt. But yeah, it's not an overnight thing. There's the emotional components, the comforting, just the flavor. It's a stimulant. And when you start freeing yourself from needing those stimulants, then all those cravings go away as well, because it gives you a boost. It gives you this stimulation. And that's what a lot of people are looking for. And we get that momentarily stimulation with our taste buds, with the spices and the salt. Now, the processed sugar, that's a drug. That's just, again, like cocaine. And so the more you start consuming fruits, the kind of fructose and glucose that the body is designed to assimilate and to consume and to give you energy from, you'll notice the less you actually want to eat processed sugar. Like, it's just going to go away, because your body is actually running on the sugar that it's meant to.
Okay. Guys, do you have any more questions? Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, I just had a question in the chat. Wouldn't you juice any skins from any fruits, like watermelon, oranges, lemons?
Yeah, the only skin that I did juice and that I do juice sometimes is watermelon rind. Only if it's organic though, I do wash it, the skin, and I do like the rind, but that's the only thing. I don't really, again, going to like what's natural, and of course juices maybe are not the most natural thing, but I wouldn't eat a skin of a banana, for example. I wouldn't eat a skin of a cantaloupe. I don't feel drawn to do that. If you do though, that's the thing, Lola. If you feel like, oh, I'm actually drawn to do that, then do so. I mean, there's, see how your body feels. But citrus, I do not recommend doing the citrus. There's very concentrated oils within the skin that are not necessarily beneficial for the body. Essential oils are extracted from skin of citrus, and those are very, very concentrated. And so I feel that there's some toxicity in them, and not something I would recommend. So watermelon rinds are the only thing that I juice, and not all the time.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, Noah, do we have any more points that we have to cover? Yeah, there was something about personal relationships, right?
You mean like social aspects of solitude vacation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we can go into that, the social aspects. When it comes to that, it's that's why it's really so valuable and helpful to have people in your life, just like the fasting group or anything where you do have a community, you do have people that you are connected with, and there is that support, that you don't feel alone in the world, especially if you do live somewhere where you are kind of like the one that is sticking up. Your family is completely opposite of what you are doing. So it's important to plug into groups and communities. And that's why I'm doing a solitude vacation in a group, to give the people the space to do it with other people where they don't feel alone. Again, especially for those that do feel alone within all this. That's one thing. The other thing is that, and there's just no way around it, you got to strengthen yourself. You are a sovereign being. I spoke about this last webinar. This is something that I'm very grateful that I was just born like this, a very free spirit, a very wild spirit, a very in my own sovereign discernment, you can say, and sovereign being. Like, nobody's going to tell me how to live my life. And it doesn't matter to me if other people have something to say about what I'm doing, or other people are choosing to do something else. Staying true to yourself is one of the most important commitments that you have, and that you came here to accomplish. Staying true to yourself, staying true to your path. And if your guidance system is saying to eat raw foods, to eat fruits, to fast, to do a solitude vacation, to just live on juices, Arik is living on juices. And I know Israel is all about food. Everybody's just eating, stuffing their face all the time. And we see that all over the world. And so it's we still live in a world in which living on liquids or fasting or eating raw foods is like different, which is insanity to me, because that's God's way, that's God's design. So until we tilt the scales, you can say, and come back to the divine design, until then, you just got to strengthen yourself. And how do you strengthen yourself is also doing some of those practices. When you do meditation, when you do yoga, especially Kundalini yoga, I teach Kundalini yoga, and Kundalini yoga is designed to strengthen your electromagnetic field. So it's that much easier to face the world, but not give up on yourself and on your commitment and on your truth.
Yeah, that's amazing, Noah. So I'm going to ask you another question. I just want a little correction, like in my case, because it's important for me to be straight and clear. Like, I do use other kinds of liquids. I do live on liquids, but I use, for example, nut milks, and I drink chicory drinks, in addition to juices, of course, maybe light soups and stuff like that. So it's not just juices. I'm not there yet, you know. That
No, but Arik, you're doing just liquids. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I'm doing liquids. Yeah. No, and I just wanted to ask you, in terms of social aspect, how does it work, your guidance, this framework of solid food vacation, of guided solid food vacation that you're opening now? Could you please explain just from the beginning till the end? Do you have sharing every day? Do you have personal consultations? Like all those aspects, how does it work?
Okay. Yes. So we are going to be together for 30 days, and we are going to meet on Zoom every week. On Sunday, we're going to have a Zoom call. We're going to have 5 in total. So the first one is this Sunday, and then it's going to go until September 5th. Now, we have a private group, we have a private Facebook group, and we have a private Telegram chat. So all the communication in between our calls is going to take place on those platforms. So if people have questions or shares or just, support, the ongoing support, those groups are for that. And there's an extensive library resources, library resources, library that is going to be available for the participants. And if anybody wants an additional one-on-one consultation, that's an extra outside of the group. Yeah, so those are just some of the logistical stuff. And any other questions about that, Arik?
Yeah, I was just when I read those descriptions, and when I saw the price is really, really reasonable. It's less than $5 a day.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever, because everything I create is guided. Like I don't really plan too much ahead of time. It's just like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do for whatever reason. And so this is the first time I've ever offered something like this in this capacity for this price.
It's amazing. And the members of our weekly fasting group even have it for less, like more 10% off. So yeah, so guys, it's really, really inexpensive, so that everyone can afford it. And please join. Yeah, it's a great gift. Great gift to do for yourself.
Yeah, and coming into this, like what I offer beyond just the aspects of the nutrition and the juices and the food is what I'm talking about here now is helping you to love yourself more, ultimately, to choose yourself first, to get stronger within yourself. So it doesn't really matter where you are, with who you are happy drinking your juice, you're happy eating your fruits, you're happy not eating anything, you're just happy doing your thing and not letting family members, not letting anyone to really influence you. Because the thing is they're going to see you. You don't need to say anything either. It's not like you need to go on a crusade to try and convince everybody to do a solid food vacation. It's more about you just doing your thing, and then people see you, and they may or may not be ready in this particular moment, but they're just seeing you doing your thing, staying true to yourself, and they might come back a week from now, a month from now, 10 years from now. But the thing is that if you compromise your truth, then you're actually robbing not just yourself, but you're robbing the other person as well from the gift that you're going to be giving them by staying true to yourself. That's the biggest thing. It's not just that you bending your truth because of social pressure is compromising your own well-being and your truth, but you're robbing the other person from actually seeing what's possible, and a gift that you're giving yourself by giving them by actually drinking juice. And they'll ask you, well, what are you doing? And you can share, I'm doing this solid food vacation, and you can share with them why, and you're giving them a gift. But if you bend yourself just to make them feel comfortable because they're eating a plate of food, and you're like, you know what, fuck this solid food vacation, I'm going to eat a food as well. Now you've robbed them from a gift, because they might they might open their eyes a few weeks from now and like, oh, wow, I remember Arik telling me about the solid food vacation. So that's really what I provide, is giving the people that strength to stay on the path.
Yeah, this is amazing. No, so so in your program, people will have 30 days on juices, right? 30 days on juices.
Correct.
And then will you be guiding them out of solid food vacation as well?
That will be a part of the immersion as well towards the end, because I'm I'm a stickler when it comes to integration and how to transition properly. So yes.
Okay, guys. So please ask any questions. Like if you have any questions regarding the routine of solid food vacation, regarding the program, regarding any other aspects we have talked so far.
And Arik, I also have the questions that were submitted ahead of time, so I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I remember. But first, let's see if people who are present here have any more questions.
Okay.
Actually, it's the questions I posted on the WhatsApp group. I'm just going to ask them in terms of quality. What juices are recommended? What kinds of fruit and vegetables?
Yes, so Revital, also because you are participating in the group immersion, I did send an email. I hope you got it. So check your inbox. It might be in your spam or something. So all that question is answered there. There's the complete PDF with recommended fruits, recommended greens and veggies, and
I'll check it then. I didn't get anything.
Yeah. And that's something that we'll cover this Sunday as well. Same thing with also, quantity and how much juice to drink and all of that. That differs from person to person.
And supplements, like I've heard you're supposed to drink like 6 to 8 liters a day. That's a lot.
Yeah, so I touched on that last week, where 4 quarts is the recommended amount. If you are, let's say, a bigger dude or very physically active, then maybe 5 and 6. The people that drink 5 or 6 is usually like the bigger dudes. I have not yet to see a woman your size or my size that can actually physically drink 6 liters a day, unless you are an athlete, and you burn a lot of energy every day. So 4 quarts, 4 liters, and it differs from day to day. Some days you might be able or want to drink 5 liters, and some days you might want to drink less. So it really depends. And I always recommend to listen to your body rather than what other people are saying or doing.
And the last question was about supplements, like in general, when you're on the you're vegan, what about B12 and vitamin D and all these things that
yeah, we've been
once and for all, I want to know the answer for that question.
Well, it's really you giving yourself the answer, because we've all been brainwashed when it comes to all these vitamins and minerals. That's number one. Number two, it's you giving yourself the answer, because if you are eating living foods, vegan, and you feel good and you see differences in your body and you have full faith, that's your answer. The answer is not going to come through me. It's not going to come through anybody else. And I can give you all the scientific data, but I'm not into that. I mean, I can tell you, Revital, just because we're just now connecting one-on-one, but I've seen you, on different webinars and stuff, and I can tell the difference in you. I mean, you look like a different person.
Exactly.
And I know that you've been doing the living foods and the fruits and the veggies and doing some fasting. So let that be your answer, and just throw it in the garbage, all the conditioning about the vitamin this, the vitamin that.
The B12 that you can't get it from plants and
Yeah, I just don't go there anymore. I mean, to me, it's nonsense. And we've been brainwashed, we've been brain conditioned, and I'm here to dispel all those myths. All I can tell you, I'm just not going to go into this and that micronutrients. Like, no, trust your body, trust nature.
Okay.
And how you're feeling, that's the answer.
Okay, and I'll check whether I got this email. Do you have my email address?
You definitely got it because you're on the email list of the group. So it probably went to the spam. So just check your spam, check your junk, and yeah, you should see an email from Noa Lakshmi. You probably have like 2 or 3 by now.
Oh, all right. Because I was wondering why wasn't I getting anything, because we're starting on Sunday. So
yeah, the links to join the Facebook groups and all of that all is in the email. So
all right.
Yeah, check it. Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
I know it's Paul in here. That was a very good talk. I
Yes.
must have missed a link. So I'm not aware. I wasn't really aware of the training, if you like, that is starting on Sunday. Is there a link I can go onto to check the cost and everything else?
Yeah.
More information on it.
Yes, absolutely. There is a link, and I can post it in the chat right now.
That would be great.
I know Arik posted in the WhatsApp group. Are you part of that group?
Yeah, I am part of that group, but I'm also working, so it's very difficult for me to keep up with the messages coming in all the time.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. There's a lot going on there. So Pauline, yeah, I just posted the link in the group, in the chat. Now, if you choose to sign up, you use code fasting for 10% off.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
thank you.
Cool. Okay, great, Noah. So let's go to those questions that we received prior to the webinar.
Okay, yeah. So I already answered the best way to store juice. Somebody asked me about that. And he or she does have a masticating juicer. So, what I said about the jars and filling it up to the top and mason jars. Now, the other question here is solid food vacation juice fast recommended for underweight people? If yes, how long? Any particular recommendations? If no, what other healing alternatives are there advised to pursue? So I can tell you that I started a solid food vacation. I wouldn't say underweight, maybe some people would say, but I was quite thin, already to begin with, and got even thinner on a solid food vacation. So same thing with, the vitamins and the supplements. I feel we've been very, very, very much conditioned when it comes to thinness and being a certain weight. Now, there is such a thing of if it's dangerous, if you're really, really like emaciated, and it might not be a good idea to do a solid food vacation. It might be better for you to just do all fruits for a while and some salads and some smoothies, because also understand that, and again, a lot of those questions, I always say this, I need to talk to the actual person, because why are you underweight? Is it something you've had your whole life? Is it something that has happened recently? Because many cases of underweight is that you are malabsorbed. And that's the reason why you're underweight. So we want to take care of the malabsorption. And the reason you are malabsorbed is because the body is overly acidic. Your colon is really congested. So a solid food vacation will be a great way to help you with the malabsorption. But you might not be ready to jump into a solid food vacation right away. It might be better for you, as I said, to go on a detox journey, but not of juices, but actually doing solid fruits, focusing on the fruits, some salads, and incorporating some fasting here and there to get your kidneys to filter, and then take care of the malabsorption issue to some degree, maybe gain a little bit of weight, and then do a solid food vacation. So again, I would probably need to speak to that person a little bit more, but that's a general answer to that question. But yeah, if you're thin, no worries about doing a saltification. You'll get thin. And it's also, being thin or losing weight is a way for the body to release toxicity, and it's part of the detoxification process. So the body releases the toxins, the body releases fat, the body releases toxic tissue. And then once the body is clean to a certain degree, you'll start building again, and you'll start building healthy tissue, healthy muscle, healthy body. Yeah.
Amazing.
You want me to go to the next question, Arik?
Yes, sure. Yeah, you just go over the list of the questions. I'm coming in 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, great. So the other question I had here was, any concern with blood sugar spike when drinking juices containing fruits, as the fiber to slow the sugar absorption is removed? So there's some truth to that. That's why, again, juices is not necessarily natural. We're supposed to eat the fruit whole because the fiber is there and it's important to have it. However, blood sugar issues are more related to pancreas and adrenals issues. So if you do have, or if you do experience a spike in blood sugar when drinking fruit juices, then just know it's not the juices that are the issue. It's the pancreas, your pancreas and your adrenals not metabolizing sugar really well. And the pancreas is struggling. So there's a few things to say about that. Number one, there's sugar in vegetables just much as fruits. And it's actually, you have glucose in vegetables versus fructose in fruits, which is a lot easier to digest. And actually diabetes do really well on fruits versus vegetables, because the glucose in vegetables is much higher. And that's what creates a spike in sugar levels in your blood. So the fact that something is sweet, that's just the chemical or the chemistry of that substance, but it's not necessarily what we think it is. So veggie juices, especially things like carrots and beets, contain just as much sugar as fruits, and even greens and even cucumbers have sugar. So if you have issues with blood sugar, again, it's the pancreas and the adrenals, and we want to take care of that. Now, having said that, we want to look at the reality of, let's say you do have issues with blood sugar levels and fruit juices do spike it up. So what do we do then? Then you can dilute the juices. That's one thing. You can drink juices that are not maybe, it's concentrated. So you just dilute the juices. You got to, again, it's a case by case. You got to find what works for you. And you might be better off with a little bit more green juices and a little bit better off with certain fruit juices than others. So you got to experiment on yourself and see. Watermelon juice might suit you better than, let's say, grape juice or orange juice. So you really got to try and see which juices create which response in the body. And that's in the meantime, focusing on healing your pancreas and your adrenals by taking herbs. And then you're not going to have that issue. And another thing is that if you do experience that sugar spike, is to drink the juices really, really slowly. So you dilute the juice with some water and you drink it slow. You drink really slow. Okay, the other question I have here, I think it's from the same person. Number 2, any fruits we should not include in our juices or monojuice because of high glycemic index. So that's what I said. Again, I don't follow the glycemic index and all of that. All fruits are amazing and designed by nature but it's a personal thing. So you got to experiment on your own. What works for me might not work for you. What works for person A might not work for person B when it comes to sugar levels in their blood. So you got to try. And, the more like things like grapes, for example, really, really sweet, but they don't really have a super high glycemic load. But you got to try and see what works for you. That's all I can say about that. There's a question here, which juices to drink on a daily basis to have high hemoglobin? I have a feeling it's the person that last week asked about, or last time about hemoglobin, maybe not. But there's no such thing juices that I can recommend to you to have high hemoglobin. We got to look at why you have low hemoglobin. Got to look at why you are anemic probably and low red blood cell count. And we go back to there's no deficiencies, there's no such thing. We're looking at adrenals, we're looking at liver mainly, and the lack of oxygen in your blood. So the quality of air, the quality of your breath. But it's not that there are particular juices that are going to bring more hemoglobin into your blood. It's removing the obstructions from the body that are interfering with the levels of hemoglobin in your blood in the first place. And then hemoglobin in the blood is not going to be an issue. Okay, and we do that through how do we build better blood? How do we build better adrenals? How do we build better anything in the body? Is with fasting, living foods, resting, and herbs for a particular window of time to help support the body in the regeneration process. That's it. It's the same answer every time. Like I'm not gonna. Maybe I sound boring, but it's the same answer every time. So, truth is simple. Nature is simple. Coming back to our health is simple. And the more you simplify yourself and get out of your head and out of your mind, the closer you'll be to your most vibrant health. The other question here, if I promote the use of some flaxseed oil in the juices for blood sugar balancing for people that find it difficult with sugar rush on juices, are there any other ways? So it's the same answer to what I described earlier. Why do you have issues with blood sugar balancing? And reality check, if somebody does have issues with drinking juice and having sugar spike, I personally don't recommend the use of concentrated oils. That's my personal experience and personal recommendation. I do not recommend that. However, you got to try on your body and see how you feel. If mixing a teaspoon of flaxseed oil with your juice helps and you feel better, you go by that, not by what Noah says. And know that ingesting oils does slow down the detoxification process, but it's okay because you might not be ready to jump full on head first into deep detoxification. Some people need a little bit more of a gradual progression until they can dive in when there are less issues in the body that are preventing you from drinking juice or preventing you from doing certain things, because you need to address other issues first. So it's an art. It's such an art, and it's such an individual art as well. And the last question here is, any recommendations for pregnancy? What food should we follow in pregnancy? So I haven't been pregnant yet. However, same thing, same answer as the answer that I just gave 2 minutes ago. And I said that's always the answer, especially during pregnancy. Living foods. Lots of fruits, veggies, salads, juices. As a pregnant woman, you got to listen to your body, but there's a lot of women out there, and I'll probably be pregnant too one day. And I'm going to show the world, how it is to be pregnant on living foods and on fruits and on nothing even. That's another thing that we've been conditioned to, but living foods to build a stronger baby and to support the mama. And it depends also, though, what have you done prior to your pregnancy? That's another thing that is important to know. But in general, living foods is always the answer. So
amazing. No, I would love to ask how much juice in terms of the amount, would you recommend drinking at a time, not to overwhelm the body, the kidneys,
The
etc.?
system, yeah, I'm still working on that one because I have that tendency of just like wanting to drink really fast.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That's why I'm asking. I would love to hear from your experience. Yeah.
You know, more and more, Arik, I stay away from like what other people are saying and really experimenting on my own body. And same thing for you, just see what works for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
from the approach of like what I've heard people say is, let's say you've got this quart of juice that you should be consuming a quart anywhere between 30 minutes to 60 minutes that it
And
should
one
take
quart,
you.
I always forget it's 1 liter, right? Because in
Yeah.
Israel,
Yeah, 1 liter. You can say 1 liter.
yeah. So you're supposed to consume this quart or this liter for how long in terms of what other people say?
Yeah, 30 to 60 minutes that it should take you to consume it.
Okay.
I personally just, because also for me, it's like I see juice as a meal, right? And so I don't want to be sitting there and sipping on juices for hours all day long. I approach it more as just like I wouldn't be eating all day long. That's not beneficial either. So there's a fine line between like chugging it in 5 minutes, which I won't do, just like I wouldn't like scarf food in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So finding that line between that and sipping it for 60 minutes. So to me is like, 15 to 20 minutes. I'll drink a quart of juice.
Yeah.
And it depends on the juice also. For me, it's much easier, like with watermelon juice, for example, I can drink it so fast. I need to really remind myself to slow down. Green juice, though, I have no issues taking my time and drinking it slowly.
Yeah.
So it depends on the juice too, and depends on the person. But yeah, find what the balance for you, that it's not too fast, but you also not just sitting there and drinking juices all day, because I don't find that beneficial either.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys, so please ask the questions before we wrap it up.
I just wanted to comment on what Noah said regarding diabetes. I have seen people who are diabetic and have gone on juicing and actually lowered their blood sugar levels. I think it's similar to what they said, that if you're diabetic, if you eat fruits, that it will spike your sugar levels. But that's not actually true, because there are natural sugars, as you've said. So it's not like eating, I'll use bread for the sake of clarity. If you eat bread, which is processed, it's then converted into sugar. If you check your blood sugar levels an hour, 2 hours later, your sugar levels will go spike really high and will take such a long time to come down. Then you crave. But with juicing, the clients that I've seen have actually brought their blood sugar levels down. So I do agree with what you're saying. And the people who have actually used grapes, eaten loads of grapes and managed and not spiked their sugar levels. So I think it's a myth where we've been trained that fruits are rich in sugars, but actually they're natural sugars that would not spike our sugar levels. So if somebody's in doubt, one clinician told me that if you juice about maybe 5-6 apples, then that would spike your sugar levels. But I'm yet to experiment on that, juice it, then check my sugar levels and see how it works. So as you said, we don't necessarily have to listen to what people say, but we've got to try it ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for chiming in, Pauline, and adding that. Everything that I'm sharing here with you, I'm not a scientific person. It's not, for me, it's not about science. It's about nature's intelligence. And I'm sharing with you what I'm sharing, not because I read it in a book, but because I've seen thousands and thousands of people, some people that I've personally guided, and then of course, just being connected to Dr. Morse's community and detoxification specialists, that thousands upon thousands of people have healed through using fruits. So this is not a theory. This is not like, oh, somebody woke up one day and wrote a theory. This is nature. This is us coming back to nature. This is humans that veered away from nature and have been conditioned so heavily with other dogmas and other beliefs that we have forgotten what is true and natural. So that's the reason why we are seeing so much diabetes in the world, not because of fruits, right? So it's just coming back to the basic intelligence of nature and seeing what works and understanding also the process of healing and regeneration. Because a lot of people start on this path and things don't get great right away, and then they blame it on the fruit. So you got to know what you're doing. You got to know what the process entails. You got to know and understand that years of abusing your body is not going to disappear overnight. And you understand also that the state of the world that we are living right now is not necessarily ideal. Plus, the quality of fruits that most people get is extremely compromised, extremely. You're going to see a vastly different results eating fruits in Costa Rica or any other place where it's local, the soil is rich, the fruits are of high quality, than buying dead produce at the supermarket. Vastly different results. So we got to consider that as well. And even with the dead produce from the supermarket, people see great results. Okay. So just wanted to add that.
Absolutely. No, and we have another question in the chat. Do you see it, or would
yes,
you like
yes, from Sarah about the emotional aspects of cravings.
No, before that, there is about beneficial bacteria being washed.
Oh, okay, that's a later one. Okay, because Sarah's question was first about the emotional aspects of cravings.
So you please address it first, and then we'll address that to the last one.
Yeah, it's a really, really deep topic. Arik, I really feel that it will be great if we could do a webinar that just addresses the emotional aspects of cravings.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel that, I'm going to touch on it just a little bit right now, but I feel that it's a big enough topic to have a webinar on its own, and also that I can offer some practical tools to use.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Yeah, but the emotional aspects of craving, Sarah and everybody else, it actually goes hand in hand with the physical as well, because everything is connected. So when I was talking about the adrenals, for example, the adrenals are so connected to our emotional body, just like any other endocrine gland. And when you have a certain weakness on a physical level, you're going to have a weakness on the emotional level related to that particular organ or gland, which is related to a particular energy system, energy center in your body, what we know as chakras. And so that's the beautiful thing about regenerative detoxification, is that once you start cleaning your body on a physical level, because there's no separation, and you strengthen a particular organ, you strengthen a particular gland, you're going to start strengthening that emotional center in your body as well. And you'll see the differences in your emotional body just as much as in your physical body. Again, see, everything is one unit. Stop separating the two. When the body is weak, you're going to have emotional weaknesses, and vice versa. There's no separation. And when we have emotional cravings, they are related to some physical weaknesses, hands down. And then also we do have the emotional component. So we have things like traumas. If we've associated food with love because of because of childhood trauma, or because something that we've learned at home, we always got fed when we were sad. We always got fed when we were upset. Then every time you get upset as an adult, you're going to look for food, and you're going to crave certain foods to bring about relaxation or bring about a sense of calmness, because that there's an emotional association. So when we start detoxing, when we start cleansing, we also start breaking the chains of those associations. And there's certain techniques, and there's certain meditations, and again, going back to yoga and going back to other practices that can assist in those emotional aspects of the cravings, and really understand trauma and your own emotional landscape. So when we do a solid food vacation, we get to see all of that, because we don't have those foods. and the emotional cravings can be really, really intense. And yeah, so there's a way to go about it, which of course is, you know, we can cover it right now in 5 minutes, but
yeah, we will really dedicate the whole webinar to this subject.
Yeah, in a solitude vacation and then outside of a solitude vacation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have the last question. Can you see?
Yes, yeah, about the enemas. Concerned that enemas wash away beneficial bacteria in the large bowel if administering it frequently. So Raj, there is truth to that, yes, and that's why you don't want to do it all the time on a regular basis. I recommend enemas as a tool, as part of a protocol. And even within the protocol, there's modifications. You know, so for example, you do 1 week, you do it every day, and then you go to once every other day. It depends on the person, depends on what you're doing. So that's why it's just a tool. You use it for a particular period of time, and then you don't use it anymore. You just use it once a week or once every 2 weeks, you know, depending on the person, depending on the level of cleansiness. And I don't recommend supplements in some cases, though, because we don't live in an ideal world right now. Probiotics are recommended sometimes to replenish that beneficial bacteria. But I'm not going to recommend that as a general thing. It's a case by case.
Okay. Okay, let's see if we have anything else. Erica had sent a question about coffee enemas. Okay, Lola. Yeah, about coffee enemas.
Okay, I'll answer that. I'll answer that just a second. And Raj, I also want to say that eating a living food-based diet, especially with a focus on fruits, because it's not just the enemas or the fasting, it's what you do in between, is going to replenish and build healthy, beneficial bacteria. But again, it needs to be organic, good soil, high quality fruits. Don't overly wash, or don't wash your fruits and vegetables. Actually, the soil is beneficial for that gut bacteria. So that's another, I wanted to add that as well, because it's important to understand that with the right proper food that we ingest, we build a beneficial bacteria. The body is intelligent. We just need to get out of the way, and the body knows how to replenish all of that. And now with the coffee enemas, you're welcome, Raj. And not at all. I don't recommend it at all. I used to do coffee enemas all the time until I learned that it's not beneficial. It's aggravating for the body. It's overly stimulating. Some people use it and have good results, but again, it's you can feel good. Just like if you ate salt, you might feel great because you just stimulated the body, so you feel great. But then over time, that's when the rundown, that's when the accumulative effect actually come and bites you in the ass. Just like with salt, you might not feel it right away, but then years down the line, all of a sudden your kidneys are shut, and there's other consequences. Your body's completely dehydrated. Same thing with the coffee enemas. You might feel good. You might feel even good for a few months, but then there's an accumulative effect. It's overly aggravating and overly stimulating. And anything that aggravates the body, anything that stimulates the body, nevertheless, overly stimulate the body, is not something I recommend. The only enemas I recommend are the lemon water or herbal teas.
Wonderful. Okay, guys. So before we say goodbye, do you have any more questions? Thank you very much, Noah. Great webinar, and thanks ever such for organizing it, Arik. Wow.
Thank you, Lola.
You're welcome, Lola. Yeah, it's my pleasure, and yeah, it's great. It's great. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions?
Thank you, Pauline. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll just wrap it up. And guys, so we will post again in the group the link to this to all the information that you need about this solid food vacation, guided solid food vacation. And the coupon code or password is fasting, and then you get another 10% off. And yeah, just use this opportunity. It's very inexpensive, and you will get lots of guidance, lots of socializing with like-minded people. Doing it together is absolutely different. It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, we already have a fun group coming together. So if you feel like joining, do so today. So at least you have one day to kind of prepare and get your footings into everything that is happening and join the group and everything. And yeah, maybe I'll see you in the group.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So guys, no, and my last question, I noticed on your website that you authored a book, that you wrote a book. So I'm just curious personally. So what's this book about? It's called something.
Master Your Life with Love.
Yes. It was, I was thinking about something like heal your life with love. I remember this part with love.
Yeah.
So in case people want to get to know you better and just to purchase the book. So what's this book about, and how can it help them?
The book is about how to love yourself, really, how to develop that extraordinary relationship with yourself so you can truly upgrade your life from the inside out, because it's love that gives us the fuel to make the best choices for ourselves. And the book is designed to help individuals, no matter where you are on your path, help individuals to increase that level of self-worth and self-love. And there's the spiritual aspects of self-love, and there's the practical aspects of that in the book as well, and different practices and different ways and different tools in which you can utilize and you can incorporate into your life to start developing a much more loving relationship with yourself.
Yeah. Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so before we really say goodbye, do you have any more questions, like last questions? No. Okay, that's really cool. Okay, Noa, so thank you so much. Hopefully lots of people will jump into this amazing project of solid food vacation of yours. And thank you so much for this enlightening webinar. It was really mind-blowing, so much useful information. Thank you very much for all the people who came here. Your presence really makes the difference, guys. Really, you bring your own light, your own love here. We can really feel it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, your questions were very thoughtful and relevant. And yeah, and this video is gonna be on YouTube. So below the video, we'll post all the information about contacting Noa regarding solid food vacation and in general, regarding her book, and also my WhatsApp number in case you are not yet a member of this group and you wanna join. So Noa, thank you so much.
Arik, thank you so much. You're such an angel, and everybody else that joined today. Thank you so much for your presence and your questions, and for wanting to make this world a better place.
Absolutely. That's our mission here. Okay. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you.
Bye.